Welcome to Confessions of a Frustrated Game Master. I am Robert, the narrator, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Confessions. Another dark and spooky episode of Confessions. I am in my car. I am going to pick up my fiance. It's 9:30 p.m. locally, and I am stuck in very unusual traffic. Haven't figured out the reason for it yet. But yeah, since I am just sitting here doing nothing, I thought I'd do another quick episode. Haven't done one in a while. So what is this episode going to be about? I think this is going to be a video response to Ivanmike over at Ivanmike 1968 on the YouTubes. One of his last videos, I think right now it may be the last video that he put up, was on a subject of system affecting the way that you play your character. And he was talking about a Mythos game that he's playing, a Call of Cthulhu game, and how it is different from the more pulpy, heroic games that he has been playing recently. And he talked about a circumstance that came up that he would have totally had his character respond to differently in a less lethal, pulpy, more heroic type game. And so I'm going to put the link in the description below so you can look at the entire video. But I'm going to kind of do a video response. Now, I don't think I'm going to do much in the way of disputing Ivan's points. But his video did make me think of a couple of questions. First of all, the idea of you consciously changing what your character would do based on the lethality or genre of the system or setting that you're playing in. Is that meta gaming? And that's the first question that I thought of. If you are considering, and I'm pretty sure, I don't want to put words in his mouth, excuse me, but I think the way that he worded it, at least it appeared to me that he was saying that in that moment when he was faced with a choice for his character while playing this Call of Cthulhu game, he thought to himself, well, I know what I would have done if this was a more pulpy style game, maybe where my character was more survivable. I would have done something real pulpy and heroic and real exciting. But knowing that the game was not that, or was much more lethal, I decided to do something else. Is that metagaming? And I'm just putting the question out there. I'm not making any accusations, of course. Ivanmike and myself, at least from what I have gathered by listening to his fantastic YouTube channel, is he and I are very much alike. When I play a role-playing game, though I love mechanics and I love systems and I love games, when my character is making decisions, I almost always try to make those decisions based on my character's beliefs and morals and personality. And I have played a couple of times with Ivanmike, and I know that's what he does. And I know that is his preference from listening to his channel. So we're both on the same page. And I guess, yeah, what he said in the video, and you can check this out for yourself, it made me think, is that metagaming? But it also made me think, on the other side, could it be disruptive for a player who knows that they are playing like a horror genre? If you're familiar with Call of Cthulhu, you know that Call of Cthulhu characters are kind of the everyday guy or gal who finds themselves in really horrific situations. And kind of in Call of Cthulhu, the player characters are going to lose. You're going to lose because you're coming up against such horrifically powerful entities. So you're going to lose. It's just a matter of how you lose. You know, are you going to have your face bitten off, or are you going to go insane? A quick side note, I really don't like Call of Cthulhu for that reason. I have played Call of Cthulhu a couple of times, and you know, not a whole lot in the hobby, but I've gathered that, yeah, in Call of Cthulhu, you're going to lose. So, and I kind of want to play a system where at least a higher percentage chance than 0 that my character is going to survive. You know, but that's kind of an aside. The other question, as I mentioned, that made me that I had, or the other question that I had was, could it be disruptive if Ivanmike did not metagame in that situation? If he played if his character was a somewhat heroic style character who was a little brash and a little bit of a risk taker, would that be unfair to the other players in the game? Because, you know, everyone knows what you're playing. You're playing Call of Cthulhu. We're going to lose. We're essentially, you know, a bunch of nobodies. You know, I don't want to, you know, put too fine of a point on it, but, you know, we're a bunch of nobodies who are going to lose because the bad guys are so incredibly powerful. Playing a daring, risk-taking character with an eye towards action, is that unfair to the other players? So I'm kind of stuck in this limbo where, you know, I don't know the answer. Again, I'm saying this video response is not about disputing or trying to correct Ivanmike, but I'm stuck in this limbo of, should you ever make decisions based on system as a role player, and if you don't make at least some percentage of your choices based on system, is that unfair to the other players? And, you know, do you become that player who, you know, that's what my character would do, you know, that guy who ruins games because everything is only about their character's personality? And, you know, where do you draw the line? Because, you know, I think that me and Ivanmike are on the same page. It's kind of weird how much, you know, we are kind of on the same page. I like to say that I like to play characters who don't know that they're in a role-playing game. You know, I once played a dwarf in Dungeons and Dragons named Bonesaw. He was actually kind of a ripoff of a brief character from a Spider-Man movie that was played by a well-known professional wrestler named Randy Savage, I think it was, and he played Bonesaw McGraw. And I made a dwarf character who was a monk. So he kind of had a wrestling fighting style, and he would rush headlong into fights because, you know, I guess I was playing the stereotypical dwarf who was, let's fight, Bonesaw McGraw, you know, whatever. And so I never thought about the threat, you know, I never metagamed, in quotes. You can't see me, but I'm doing quotes. Because, you know, as a player, of course, I kind of have a pretty good idea of the threat level of a lot of creatures that we face in Dungeons and Dragons, just playing Dungeons and Dragons for many years. But I never thought tactically with that character, because that character wasn't the type that thought tactically. So is that a bad thing? Is that type of character disruptive? Playing a character as if that character doesn't know that they're in a role-playing game, you know, taking system and lethality into consideration, is that a good thing or a bad thing, and is it disruptive? And I guess that's all I wanted to say as a video response, and hopefully, you know, you will put some responses in the in the comments below. Maybe Ivan will see this and do another video response to kind of answer the question. And so, yeah, the question is out there. Is it right for a system to affect the way you play your character? Because I think that at least me and Ivanmike's preference is that the only thing that should affect our characters' decision making is their personalities and their beliefs. And, you know, without setting or system really stepping in. So that's what I want to do. Where's the line on that? That's all I wanted to say. I am still stuck here in traffic, so it's going to be a lot longer. Maybe I'll get another video done tonight. Who knows? But thanks for checking out this quick video response, this quick video. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you are.